Burn Line Podcast. The burn line on a well-crafted cigar is straight and sharp as a razor, much like our wit and wisdom. And what is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, over the age of 21, you are listening to Burn Line Podcast, coming to you not live from the Hot Box, the smoky back room where deals are struck and fortunes are made, adjacent to the Rocky Patel Cigar Lounge, nestled amongst the complex of rooms that comprise Davida Cigars, Westminster, Maryland, USA. The only Rocky Patel Cigar Lounge in the state of Maryland currently, and one of 13 Davidas locations in the state of Maryland. I'm Johnny Midas.
And I'm Cold. I'm El Fumo.
And we smoke cigars.
Yep.
And let's start with the coffee.
Yeah.
This is what, Mexico?
No. Yes.
From TC Premium Coffee.
TC Premium.
Robust. I like it. We are smoking the Arturo Fuente Hemingway Signature Sungrown Oscuro. One for you.
Hey.
One for me. As usual, Arturo Fuente's presentation is on fleek, as the kids say these days.
I don't think they do anymore.
No?
No. Whoa. Before I pull this out, I just want to point out that was not me.
I don't see anything. It's perfect.
Okay.
So there's a barcode for the retailer that is beautiful.
Yeah.
And it also says what it is. So I like that.
It's a cigar.
It's a cigar.
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 Cigar art.
Cigar.
Anyway, it has the ribbon.
Don't need that. Get it out of there.
So one of the reasons we're smoking this is I just bought a box of them here at Davida Cigars, $350. Pretty good deal.
Yeah.
No, it ties into what we were talking about last week because this is also a Cameroon wrapped cigar, and this is the Oscuro. And there is a reason for that. And we're going to talk about that, and that's the theme of this episode is all about Oscuro. What the fuck is it?
It's
and
dark.
I think it's a fair question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's dark, duh.
I think you have some inside scoop on a certain brand there. Well, more of that later. Presentation, of course, you got the box, and I love how the Surgeon General sticker or whatever, they put it on like that so you can just peel it off.
Yeah, remember before you couldn't peel them off, and now you can.
Because this is art. People collect these.
Yeah,
you know, Fuente boxes in particular.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's
felt
gorgeous.
Hemingway. Cool.
Yep. And it's got 25 cigars in the box. And like I said, the retail here at Davida Cigars in Westminster, which of course includes the Maryland tax, plus your regular sales tax, state tax, came to $354. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. All right. And then looking at the cigar, it does have the Cameroon tooth, as well as a few blemishes like you expect in a Cameroon wrapper.
Check this out. Look at that.
Yep, I got that little thing.
No, like that's glue drip or hopefully fruit pectin.
I don't think it is. I think that is excretion from the leaf, dude. I think that's I think the leaf had a...
No, I'm only saying because if you
blemish.
see that, that's definitely not excretion.
Yeah, but look. Here, let me fuck with your stick for a minute.
Okay.
That is coming out of that vein, I'm pretty sure.
Hey, would you look at that? It's not dyed.
So it's a
till
real
later.
Oscuro.
Yeah.
More to come on that. All right, so that's enough fucking around. Let's go ahead and get these cut and lit. If you have these, so these of course have the ribbon on the foot. Don't put them in your ashtray, especially if you're in a lounge, because when they get hot and burn, they melt and they fucking stink, and it's just not fair to everybody. So just a friendly reminder, all the plastic stuff associated with your cigar, and even your band, unless it is a Leaf by Oscar band, should not go in the ashtray. All right, it is time for the official cutting. The official cutting is brought to you by Lord Baltimore Distributors. Featuring proprietary blends available nowhere else, Lord Baltimore Distributors are meticulously crafted boutique cigars made in small batches for every palate. Lord Baltimore Distributors, when only the best will do. And as always, we remind you to clip that cigar with authority. No limp-wristed cutting allowed. And now we're doing the hand job. I left my watch at work.
Yeah. I noticed you didn't bring your 007 cigar cutter either.
Oh, I've got it.
Oh,
I'm just using this one.
Okay.
All right, hand job. Just knock that little dottle off. It will improve your cigar smoking experience by not getting little flecks of shit all over your teeth and the tip of your tongue.
Dude, I got a funny story. When I was 19, sitting at the OG Union Cigar in Gettysburg, the guy named Chris was behind the counter, and then some college dudes came in. I was sitting there smoking with him, and they smoked it was either a Hemingway or a short story. And I guess because it looks like that, they cut it and lit it
the wrong way.
The wrong way, so it's funny as shit.
Well, did it unravel or was it fine?
I don't remember. I think it was fine. He smoked the whole way through fine, but it's like,
There's a lot of cigars you can smoke backwards. The only cigar that is really difficult to do is a parejo. Yeah. Because there's no shoulder or anything on the wrong end.
That's right, and it starts to unravel.
It starts to unravel and stuff. Yeah. But, like a Presidente, Piramide, anything like that, you can usually...
Yeah, especially like this. They're double.
Figurado. All right, it is time for the official lighting. And I am lighting up with my Rocky Patel white enamel and rose gold cross double flame, one jet and one soft flame. And you were lighting up with Old Faithful?
Old Faithful.
Vertigo 4 flame. All right. The official lighting is brought to you by 2C Premium Coffee. Keep your day fueled with delicious coffee from 2C Premium Coffee. Featuring select beans from Bali, Kenya, Ethiopia, and around the world, 2C Premium utilizes continual roasting, so you are always getting a truly fresh cup of premium coffee. 2C Premium Coffee, morning made us. Let's get some heat on these bad boys. And as always, we remind you, toasted, not roasted. Treat that cigar with the love and respect it deserves, and it will return the flavor. And that's what we are all about here on Burn Line Podcast. And just a little lighting tip. When you have these, just light the nipple. Don't singe it. Just light it. You're going to have a difficult time drawing because the cigars, you got to burn the nipple off. Just nice, long, slow puff. Let it start to catch the cigar inside. If you try to chuff it or smoke it too fast to get it where it needs to be, it can char the cigar and affect your taste, but usually it just ends up burning unevenly.
Dude, this is tasty, like right off the bat.
Oh, this is I bought a box for a reason. This is a daily for me.
Plus,
this is one of the cigars that's in my daily smoke rotation.
Plus, you have a bias, so.
I do. It's called my personal palate preference, and everyone has one. It's good to have and know what yours is. Yeah. For me, I enjoy most Fuente products.
Yeah, I do too, man. The Cañones is like my go-to Fuente.
Yeah, it's surprisingly good. Now, that is a gigantic stick for Fuente, but they're old school. Yeah. Nowadays, that's like, whatever, dude.
Oh, no, I love them.
Do you know how many, 9x90s, 8x80s, 7x70s, and the Cañones is what, a 7.5 inch by...
Almost a 10?
It's long, but it's only a 54 ring gauge, 52 ring gauge.
God, it's been a while. Hold on. I gotta look it up. But yeah, those things are fucking awesome. And they're flavorful too. And normally, people are like, you'll struggle and you heat it up, and it doesn't. 8.5 by 52.
Yeah, 8.5 by 52 is their, they named it the Cannon. That's their big cigar. And there's plenty of manufacturers out there that are just blowing that out of the water. 6 by 60, everybody has one now, except the old school guys.
Yeah. Oh, that's not bad. $192 for a box.
By the way, the Fuente Cañones probably has the best cigar box on the market if you want to reuse it for like a jewelry box or something.
All right. Yeah, because of how long and deep it
Yeah,
is.
it's almost like a treasure chest. It's like long and deep, and the top flips open. Like,
Yeah.
if you're looking for a box to keep stuff in, it's right at the top.
And they're thick. Like, this is some quality wood, too.
Yeah. All right, so this is not a new stick. The Hemingway has been out forever. I think it was like 87 or something.
Something like that.
And then the Oscuro is newer, but not that new.
Johnny might have smoked one in middle school.
Yes. No. Middle school, they hadn't invented cigars yet back then. That reminds me, I need to pick up some beard dye. But we're smoking it for a couple of reasons. We do like to smoke new stuff for you guys out there, so you can get our take on it before you spend your hard-earned cash on it. But this time we are smoking a classic.
Yeah.
And recommend you pick one up if you haven't tried one yet.
I have not, so this is my first time.
You got to try it. So, initial tasting notes. First of all, there's graham cracker and molasses.
Dude, yeah.
There's a really interesting spice. It's not spicy, but it is spiced.
Not cinnamon. It's not spicy enough for that.
No, it's not as spicy as cinnamon, but it's approaching there. It's sort of like if you took a really soft finishing pepper and mixed it with a fruit flavor.
Almost a clove.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say clove.
There's also a meaty component.
Braised pork. Braised pork. Literally getting a weird braised pork vibe.
Yeah, I can see that. I
I don't know why. It's just that's
But
what just came.
there is a meat flavor in here. But I think, right now, with the first few puffs anyway, like the molasses and graham cracker are really just dominating. This is like savory and rich and sweet, but it's not like flavored sweet.
There's like a little bit of a baking rack component to it. Like I said, I'm getting cloves and
I think there's
braised
definitely
pork.
cloves, and there's a little bit of what is that spice that I'm thinking of?
What's it close to? Or are you just having trouble pinning it down?
I'm having trouble pinning it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So it's the back of the soft palate, but you have to do a slight retrohale to really get the flavor. Back of the soft palate, right as it's entering into your nose for the retro.
Ooh, that is a hard one to pin down.
It's delicious.
It is. It's tasty.
This is a delicious cigar. This is what I was smoking this morning. With the windows rolled down, 5 degrees.
You can keep the windows rolled the whole way up.
I roll them down, dude.
Okay. Fuck that.
Respect for the Toyota. I let the smoke out.
Okay.
It needs to breathe too. Besides, I just like the cold. Especially when I have a nice warm coffee, like this Mexico blend.
By the way, it was... I was expecting that cold to bite this morning. That 5 degrees felt like nothing.
There's no wind, that's why.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been, below 32 for 2 fucking weeks now?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, it's nothing. We got this.
All of our listeners from Michigan are like, you fucking pussies.
Yeah, shut up.
Fucking April weather.
I was going to say,
This pairs very well with coffee because of the bitter in the coffee. There's no bitter in this cigar at all.
Yeah, and it's not dyed coffee. I got the jokes.
All right, socials and surprises. So we've got a couple of surprises for you here. This is the Davidoff Winston Churchill Limited Edition 2025.
Which I had mentioned previously on the news.
And these fucking hinges are awesome.
Dude, it's like piano, right? Like legit piano hinge.
And I'm pretty sure this is poplar wood. It's a very high quality wood. This is gorgeous. This is 14,147 out of 18,000. So they only made 18,000 boxes of 10. This box is $489.99 at Davidoff Cigars in Westminster. Well, in individual stick is $54.39. So if you do the math, that's basically a savings of one cigar or 10% on the box price. Not in everybody's price range, but, I'm not a fan of Davidoff. I'll just say it. I don't buy a lot of their stuff. It's good, but
yeah, I think that's most of the base anyway. Like
it's overpriced.
Cigar base.
Yeah, but this is a limited edition Churchill, and I'll probably get two, one to smoke, one to put in my collection.
Yeah.
I do like the Winston Churchill. And we smoked a Davidoff Year of the Snake, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and then the Winston Churchill a couple months ago.
And speaking of socials and surprises, this is the very first episode of season 3. So cheers. Cheers to all of you guys out there. We'll do cheers with the fucking bourbon in a minute.
Yep.
And we also have got CEO Amazon Basin. This is the 2025 release, and it says it up there, so you know that you're not getting last year's Amazon Basin if you're into collecting that stuff.
6x52.
6x52, and no longer available here at Davidoff Cigars Westminster. There's probably some left in Annapolis.
Yeah. No, doubt it. They're all gone.
These are like, they show up and they get bought. Mm-hmm. And
this is different from last year's box, too.
It's a different, slightly different color, but I was comparing my box last year with somebody else's, and they were slightly different.
Yeah. Last year's was definitely more cratey, if I remember.
It was identical.
Was it? Okay, it's been a while. It's been almost a year.
But I think all they did was take their leftover boxes and stamp a 2025 release in the upper left corner.
I mean, no shame in that. No. I don't fuck them.
Especially if it saves us money.
Yeah.
I think it's the same. I don't know. I'd tell you, but John has my box. Fucker. All right, so
shots fired.
Anyway,
we're getting close.
These are some new things that have come out.
Yeah.
So the Amazon Basin, I usually pick one up every year. I do like it. It's a good cigar. And then, of course, the Davidoff Winston Churchill Limited Edition 2025.
Yeah.
I love it's like laser engraved and then gold foil. It's beautiful.
It's very Johnny Midas.
It's what you would expect from Davidoff.
Oh, shit. I missed that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, those are hinges.
Oh, fuck. I thought we were just looking at these on the side.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's fucking fancy.
Damn.
Fancy.
That's where like $15 of your cigar price is at.
Yeah. $10 per stick. It just goes towards the hinges of the box. All right. So we are smoking the Arturo Fuente Hemingway Sungrown Oscuro, and we're going to talk about Oscuro. But before that, why don't we take a break for stations to identify themselves on the Bourbon Line Podcast Radio Network. Don't go away. And now your tobacconist tip of the week with Angel Solorio.
Tobacconist tip of the week, as we were talking about, it's cold as hell. Well, hell isn't cold, but it's really cold outside. Like 5 degrees or 7 degrees, whatever. A lot of us like to keep stuff in our cars and outside on the porches or what has you. Especially like I know we keep our lighters and butane outside. Probably a good idea to keep your butane inside just because you don't want to blow out your can or have some decompression. It probably won't, but just, I haven't seen it happen yet. I just don't want it to happen. So
yes.
Don't lose your can and then
store your butane at room temperature.
Yeah.
Don't heat it up either. Don't put it on top of the wood stove to warm it up.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, don't do that.
Yeah.
If you do, take a video and let us know.
Yeah. Now, hosting a social podcast competition. Best video of someone blowing off their fucking butane can wins a free can of butane.
Our lawyer just said, shut up.
I'm getting furious texts from our attorney right now. Yeah, don't do that. Don't blow yourself up. That's a good tobacconist tip. And I'll just riff off of that. Think of this as a friendly reminder. I know that you know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I already found like 3 lighters in my truck. I found propane in my truck, too.
Propane will be fine because that shit can get pretty cold.
But it should be fine, but I just didn't know I had it back there.
Yeah, I know it takes me...
I also have half a pallet of bricks in the back of my truck.
You ready for a ride or something?
I don't know why it's back there. I forget, but... I need to do something with it.
Yeah, I know if I leave this and it's like below freezing in my car overnight, it takes a few extra clicks to get her lit up.
By the way, butane does not light under a certain temperature. And it's higher than you would think. I think it's above freezing. But the old trick is stick it in your pocket right next to your warm parts. Let it sit there for a couple minutes and it should be fine.
You ready to rip.
It feels cold in that pocket.
Yes.
All right.
Nature's pocket.
Nature's pocket. All right. First of all, let's get drunk because I can't have this conversation without some alcohol and celebrating Season 3. Can you believe it? 3rd season of Burn
3
On Podcast.
years, yeah.
This is New Riff, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, and this is bottled and bond.
Yeah.
Without chill filtration, whatever the fuck that is. And this is 100 proof.
Let's go.
New Riff has...
By the way, it's a gorgeous bottle.
It is. It has a really good reputation. I think it won some awards already.
Nice.
So you can't tell by looking at the bottle, but it goes from clear to smoked black in color. I think you can catch that on camera. They get kudos for that. You know, we're always about style on this show. We talk about how the cigars look. Well, this bottle is fucking cool. It's definitely a new riff. Like, it's a new take.
There you go. How about that for the editing?
Yeah, there you go. A new riff on an old tradition. And let's see. This is distilled where? New Riff Distilling. Cool. So it's brand new. It's not just a brand that
I'm trying to find
Heaven's Hill put out or something.
Yeah. Since 1897.
What, ain't that fucking new then? Cheers. Skull, slancha, salud. Gazoon type.
That's good. Holy fuck.
It is.
It doesn't feel like 100 proof either.
No, this is a good bourbon. Johnny Midas approved. It burns in the middle of the esophagus.
Here, you might want to read that.
I'm not a huge fan of the bourbons that kind of go up the nose.
Yeah, me neither.
All right. So this is a bottled and bond without chill filtration high rye mash bill. So it's 30% rye. Of course, you got to be 51% corn to be a bourbon. It is 4 years. It's 100 proof. Extra rich, unfiltered, deep amber color. Okay. Butterscotch and rounding into fresh oak with hints of vanilla and rye spice. Sounds a little stuck up. Taste broad, fulsome, mouthfeel leading to a sweeter vanilla, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Some of these whiskey guys take themselves way too seriously. Let's just say it's a good spirit. It gets better the more you drink.
I'm so good I can taste it outside the bottle.
Mm-hmm. I smell notes of stuck-upness. No, but on a serious note, I wouldn't call this a blue-collar bourbon, but it's not...
it's not hateful. It's $40.
It's not, like, stuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the price is great.
It honestly looks like this is like what a top shelf bottle would look like anyway.
Oh, yeah. If we emphasize, like, living the good life, the Johnny Midas life on a budget. This fits right in. This is a great bourbon. The bottle looks fantastic.
Ooh.
And it's affordable. Most places.
Yeah. Dude, that tastes good together.
For me, it's bringing out a little bit of a black currant fruity flavor. And then the cigar tastes a little more smoky, like a smoked wood. I think it's playing well with the oakiness of the bourbon. So, of course, this is the opposite of the Willet that we had.
Yeah. Oak barrels, or did you say?
Well, yeah, it's required.
Yeah.
Bourbon. But, so weeded bourbons, are sweeter. This is a rye bourbon, which is spicier. Mm-hmm. And it does make the cigar taste a little spicier as well. Dude,
that pairs really well. That was an accidental pair. Or did you smoke and pair this already?
Well, yeah, it's not accidental because these are the last 2 cigars in this box. I've smoked them all with all my bourbons, and this one went really well. But, yeah, accidental in the sense that it just came about that way.
Yeah. Dude, that's good. You get a little citrus?
Yeah, I was going to say coriander. Not quite, not like sucking on a lemon, but...
Or, tangerine or something. Licorice, maybe? A hint?
Yeah, I think so. I was going to say anise, but that's basically licorice. So.
Yeah, that's the same. It's so weird.
I should put some bourbon in this coffee.
I was just thinking that.
All right, so let's talk about Oscuro. All right, so this really flows right from our last podcast. So we talked about Cameroon. Great episode. If you like history and geography and all of that, be sure to check out last week's episode on Cameroon cigars.
Yeah, we talk about cartography and all that. No, we don't.
So the Hemingway is famous for being Cameroon-wrapped. has a Cameroon wrapper. And that is why it has an oscuro wrapper, but you will not see a Maduro wrapper. And we talked about this in the Cameroon episode. It is really, really challenging to, and in fact, basically impossible to use the Maduro fermentation process on a Cameroon leaf. So here is what we're talking about. On your, well, let's talk about what it means first. Maduro means ripe.
Yeah.
These leaves are left on the plant longer, they're riper, and then they're put in a fermentation process that is high heat and a long time. The leaves most commonly used for Maduro wrappers are Mexican San Andres Negro, Pennsylvania broadleaf, Connecticut broadleaf, and Nicaraguan Habano. That's like all of the Perdomo.
When's Ecuadorian Habano coming in Oscuro?
I don't know. But so the reason those leaves are the most common for Maduro is they're robust.
Yeah.
And this is basically like high strength compost. You're heating it up. You're doing it for a long time. You have to have a thick, gnarly leaf to handle that. Cameroon is not that.
Yeah.
So what is oscuro? Well, oscuro means dark. And there's two stages to the oscuro process. The first is growing the leaves. So typically, oscuro takes leaves from the first priming, the crown of the plant.
Yeah.
They're left on the plant for a long time. Now this leads to an interesting discussion about medio tiempo. So it doesn't translate well. Medio tiempo literally means halftime.
Yeah.
But it means double.
Double.
They're left on the stalk twice as long. It makes sense in Spanish. But it doesn't... So people will talk about leaving the crown leaves on twice as long and as medio tiempo. But in Cuba, that's not what it means. In Cuba, medio tiempo refers to tobacco plants can present with 2 or 3 leaves at the top. If they present with 2 leaves, they leave them on until they turn brown and curl around the stalk.
Yeah.
And that's medio tiempo.
Yeah.
And it's, it's not fair because Cuba has a lot of ways of talking about plants and stuff and tobacco that is not shared. It's not a universal taxonomy. We keep complaining about this.
Yeah.
And so, like the Bahique, we use medio tiempo. The reason that the Bahique is so expensive is it's made out of those 2 leaves.
Right.
Which, by the way, I think is 14% of tobacco plants.
Yeah, and they have a government standard, too, on top of that.
Yes. Surprise.
We've talked about that already, but anyways.
Yes, they have a government standard with a Russian accent.
Yeah. Weird.
That's another cigar taxonomy thing. You'll hear people say medio tiempo.
Yeah.
And they don't mean that. They just mean the crown leaves. But you start with those leaves. And then the fermentation process is lower temperature than Maduro and not as long.
Shorter. Yeah.
And so you can make oscuro leaves out of almost any tobacco.
Yeah.
Although it's still a challenge with Cameroon, and hats off to Fuente for figuring it out.
Yeah, it's almost a shock process, like literal shock process.
It is, and I'm not aware of, I did some research for this, and I couldn't find any oscuro Cameroon wrappers that weren't Fuente. That doesn't mean they don't exist, but I'm just not aware of them. It's still challenging to do.
Yeah, shit.
And then, of course, after that, they're put in bales or barrels. To age, just like other tobacco leaves. And so you can think of the fermentation as cooking it, and then the barrels or bales as aging it.
No ammonia.
Yes. Oh, no ammonia on this at all.
No acridity. We still didn't find out.
Acridity. I stand correct on that one. It is acridity.
Is it acridity? Oh.
I don't know, but I'm going to say it is.
I was like, there you go.
Well, that's one reason I like Fuentes is they don't make a bad cigar. They don't make a cheap cigar, but they don't make a bad cigar.
Okay, we have to challenge flag on that one.
Okay.
The, oh my God. The green leaf. Why am I blanking? The Candela. My God.
Oh, you mean the wrapper?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a greenish
Christ.
leaf. Candela.
Yeah, that's the only one I'm not a fan of. It is way too bitter. Obviously, because it's a Candela,
okay.
but...
I mean, but you gotta be fair, because it's fucking Candela. But the point is, you don't get ammonia and shit like that on Fuente cigars. You just don't. Like, They don't let them out of the factory. Yeah. You're getting a good stick.
I don't know who enjoys to smoke that on purpose.
Candelas, I mean, yeah, but that's what I liked about the GFY from Saka. Is like I threw a shitty Candela in there too, because there's all of these cigar snobs that are like, oh yes, I can enjoy a Candela.
Well, the Thin Green Line was pretty fucking dope.
Yes, the Thin Green Line was a great Candela from Fat Boy Cigars. So, what's interesting historically is like before the 60s, 50s maybe, all you could get was Candela.
Yeah.
Like if you bought a cigar in America, it was Candela.
Well, that was Mesoamerica, just...
Yeah.
And smoke.
Well, if you want to do like a history check on, you're watching like 1883 and they're smoking a cigar, what color is it?
Yeah.
Green. If it's not green, they're full of shit. They were green.
Yeah, most Westerns, they're having like a cheroot brown.
Yeah, it's like dark
stop
and
it.
age. I'm like, nope, they didn't smoke them. Didn't have them.
Calling you out right now, Clint Eastwood.
Yep. All right, so that's a little bit about the nomenclature and what oscuro is. Now, oscuro means dark. The oscuro process is what makes a real oscuro.
Yeah.
This is important because we do have cigars out there that cheat.
Yes.
And we've talked about this. There is a way to dye your cigars. You take all the clippings and you make a slurry. Mix them with water. Make a slurry. And you soak your leaves in it. And it makes them dark without going through the aging process. Now, you're not technically lying because oscuro means dark, but I think it's cheating because oscuro really refers to the fermentation process, which results in a rich, molassesy type of wrapper.
And you know what? The whole cigar world, like the consumer side, agrees with that. It's like, you shouldn't be doing that.
No, I mean, when people find out, they feel cheated.
Yeah.
So, how do you know? Well, if it dyes your lips and fingers, it was dyed.
It was dyed.
You can't get that out. You can't hide it. We actually smoked the El Septimo Botticelli. Nick and I did. This was a long time ago. Y'all can look up that episode. Fucking 9.5-inch Solomon. Took us so long, it was 2 episodes. So we're like not even halfway through at the end of an hour. And we sat in the lounge and smoked for another 2 hours and then did the rating.
Yeah.
It was sticky. Our fingers were sticking to it. It was tacky. And then we started to get a little brown on our lips. Sorry, they dyed that wrapper. Yeah. Now, when we say dye, I want to make sure that I'm being fair. We're not talking about fucking FD&C red number 4 or whatever the fuck they're banning.
Yeah, red 40, red dye 40.
Yeah. We're talking about taking natural tobacco and soaking it to get the color out and then using that to dye your leaves.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not like they're doing something nasty, but they are cheating.
Yes.
Right? And, you could also make the argument, but they never... And by the way, that was a Colorado in color. They weren't advertising it as anything. But the reason they did that for that wrapper leaf is it was beautifully even. Now, that's not cool anymore.
No.
But if you go back to 2010, Davidoff in particular, their claim to fame was like, if you look at the cigar from any angle, top, bottom, whatever, there's no change in the leaf. It's just one color. Right? And that's one reason they got so expensive is they're going through fucking leaves. They're throwing out 90% of their wrapper leaves or using them on Camachos. But to get that one perfect section of leaf from the perfect leaf. Right? Well, El Septimo, cheated by just dyeing the leaf. And it came out looking like that old school, slick, highly produced, over-processed, thing it's not really cool anymore. Like the rustic, I came out of the ground thing. Kind of cool right now. So, but they didn't advertise it as an oscuro or a maduro or anything like that. So they weren't cheating anybody. But they did dye the leaf to make it appear that way, which It's a fucking 9.5-inch cigar.
Yeah, man.
You have to.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can go from fucking brown to yellow in 9.5 inches of cigar leaf, you know? So, I kind of get it.
Mm-hmm. And then also the Prince Hall.
Prince Hall cigar?
Yeah, that one's pretty
Dyed?
Yeah.
And that one they do call an oscuro, and it is dark, but it is very clearly dyed.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
So,
the dye literally rubs off before you even light it.
yeah. So if you see the Blanco Prince Hall on the shelf, it's very dark and beautiful looking, and it will stain your fingers and lips.
Buyer beware.
Yeah, it will be dyed. The other one was the Partagas, I think.
Partagas, yeah.
American Partagas. Oscuro, same thing. You look at it and you're like, it's fucking black. How did they get it black? And then you light it up and you're like,
oh, that's how. Yeah. It's just not cool. Why? Don't even do it.
I don't think it's cool.
Yeah,
Like, use the fermentation process, however it comes out. Like, if you look at these, they're definitely darker. This is the darkest Fuente.
Like, I understand why you did that to the Prince Hall. Like, come on now. But
well, I'm not even going to go there.
I know.
You know,
but that's as far as I'm going to go.
Like, yes, we all know the history of Prince Hall. You didn't have to make it that black of a cigar. I mean, you know,
yeah.
I don't know.
The size and the color. Like, come on.
Oh my God. Wow. Meanwhile,
inside
Bourbon
joke.
Podcast, yeah.
For those, if you know, you know.
So that is the difference between Maduro and Oscuro. And then, surprisingly, because of the process, Oscuro is darker than Maduro. Mm-hmm. I think that the flavors are super similar between the two. A true Maduro should be sweet. And I think Maduros are sweeter than Oscuro. But Oscuro has a sweet molassesy, you know, it depends on the base leaf that they used. In this case, because it's a Cameroon, you have that delicious cinnamon flavor that's associated with Cameroon.
Damn you, Arturo Fuente.
Whereas,
Got it. Okay. You know what? It's there to go.
Well, so in contrast to, if you have a Connecticut broadleaf Oscuro, you know, Connecticut broadleaf is like the beef jerky of cigars. It's fucking strong, robust, peppery. Same thing with, depending on the farm you get it from, but Nicaraguan Habano is pretty fucking peppery.
Good job, Amish people.
Yes. All right. So, quick quiz for you.
No.
But name a famous oscuro-wrapped cigar. Go.
I really can't. Honestly, off the top of my head, I really cannot.
Okay, so the one that comes to mind immediately for me is the My Father La Bijou.
Okay.
1922.
Yeah.
Wasn't that cigar of the year back in like
A while ago.
2011 or
Yeah.
something?
Jesus.
Still a fantastic smoke.
Back when I could legally smoke.
The only so here's my only complaint about the My Father La Bijou. The torpedo frequently has draw issues.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but delicious cigar. I would say that probably the next one on the list.
Ooh. Actually, I have smoked this one. La Espada.
I was going to say the Monte Cristo Espada.
Yeah.
Oscuro.
That was a good
That
stick.
is second on my list.
That was one of my first sticks. That's why I did not remember it.
So, you know, I'm also not a big American Monte Cristo fan, but that is one that is good. And actually, they have a lot of good sticks. I usually just think they're a little overpriced. So here's one you might not have heard of, the Southern Draw Kudzu Oscuro.
I have, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good Oscuro. So I just did a list of some of my favorites. The Casa Magna
Yeah.
Oscuro, that one's pretty good and affordable. One that a lot of people have not heard. Tell me if you've heard of this one. The La Palina Nicaragua Oscuro.
Yes. Yes, I have.
Yeah. So La Palina is a very affordable, approachable stick. A lot of people have not heard of the Nicaragua Oscuro.
Yeah.
Or even La Palina.
The San Cristobal Ovation.
Yes.
That's been a while.
Yep. And then, of course, probably everyone these days has heard of the Fernandez New World Oscuro.
Yeah, that was good.
So.
The Tatuaje 15.
All right, so if you want to try your palate on the World of Oscuro, you can start there. Here's some other ones. The 601 Steel Anvil, which is a 6x60.
Ooh.
So this is a You know, this is definitely a El Fumo cigar. You know,
Yes.
Gordo. And of course, 601 comes from Eric Espinosa's factory in Esteli. And it has a Nicaraguan Habano oscuro wrapper. So any Perdomo Maduro is Nicaraguan Habano. And they do a really good job with their Maduros. But I'm not aware of any oscuro Perdomos.
But they're really fucking good.
But they're good. But I also, you know, like, what I've been told by people in the industry is we use oscuro for leaf that won't stand up to the Maduro process very well. Mm-hmm. A Nicaraguan Habano does stand up to Maduro processing. It's one of the most common.
Yeah.
And so this one, the 601 Steel Anvil, is a little interesting because they went with oscuro. And you can save some money there because it's less time in fermentation.
Yeah.
You turn the crops faster, basically. But I think that's worth it I would almost smoke that next to a Perdomo and try to spot the difference, sort of thing. Another one that's very approachable is the La Gloria, Serie N Glorioso. And you can kind of tell by looking at it that it's an oscuro because it's very dark. So the Capa Oscuro is what they call the wrapper. And it's really well done. So if you're not familiar with La Gloria, they have a range. There's some that I don't like. There's some that I like. But they're all pretty affordable. And they make some good sticks. One that you may be able to get your hands on, maybe not, is the Rocky Patel Freedom Toro. So those are kind of hard to find now. I think was it a limited run?
Yeah.
It's not a core line.
I was about to mention that.
This is another Nicaraguan oscuro, and it is also a, what do you call it, puro, Nicaraguan puro. One that you can probably find in America is the American Partagas 1845 Extra Oscuro Robusto Gordo. That's a 5.5 by 52. I fucking love that. Like, that is an awesome Vitola. That is worth trying. So, this cigar has Dominican, Honduran, and Nicaraguan Ligero in the filler, and then it has a Connecticut Habano Oscuro wrapper. So it's interesting. So they took Habano seed and planted it in Connecticut, and then made an Oscuro. Why is this notable? Because Connecticut broadleaf is often used for Oscuro or Maduro.
Yeah.
Connecticut broadleaf is thinner and milder than Connecticut Habano. So, believe it or not, they outdid the power of Connecticut broadleaf by planting Habano seeds in Connecticut, and they came out with this thick, spicy leaf.
Yeah.
So this one is really unique because I can't find any other Connecticut Habano oscuro-wrapped cigars.
Yeah.
So I would try this one. One that everybody could get their hands on is the Punch Rothschild. Again, this is American Punch.
Yeah.
I'll let you. It sucks, guys. And there's something in the works now to actually kill all of the Cuban brands in the U.S. that aren't really Cuban. That's in the works. I think it's happening.
Yeah, and there's some legislation just happened. I could either cover it or not. It don't matter.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the news section. But for all of our listeners out there, unless I say Cuban Partagas or, Cuban Cohiba or whatever, I'm talking about the American version because that's what we can get.
Yeah.
This is an American Partagas.
For now.
So here's an interesting one that you might want to try is the Surrogates Tramp Stamp. This is a 5 1/4 by 48. Love the Vitola.
Never heard of that one.
No, and that's why I'm bringing it up.
That's funny, though.
So this is an Ecuadorian Habano Oscuro.
Oh, shit.
All right. So here we go.
Let's try it.
Yeah,
all right, we're going to
take
get
our shot because we
fuck.
said Ecuadorian. But it is all Nicaraguan except for the wrapper. So here's what's interesting. It is made by my father. And Pete Johnson had basically, he didn't blend it all himself, but he was involved in the blending. So we know about the relationship between Tatuaje and my father. So this is like a dark, spicy Nicaraguan, and the Ecuadorian Habano Oscuro adds sweet to it. So if you like Nicaraguan, like that strong peppery, and then imagine sweet on top of that, this is probably a good one to try. So basically, Don Pepin and Pete Johnson blended this.
Yeah.
So I would try it out.
That sounds tasty.
Yeah. So here's one that you may be able to find, may not. The La Sarina Jax. Have you seen that JAXX brand? Okay. So this is highly regional. It's hard to find Jax brand, but the Jax Robusto is oscuro-wrapped. So it has Nicaraguan fillers with some Brazilian mixed in, and then a Nicaraguan Habano Oscuro wrapper. This is more of a mid-full, and it has basically ligero inside it, so you have that spiciness, and then notes of espresso, mocha, wood, sweet spice. So if you can find it, and also they're affordable.
Dude, $8, let's go.
Yeah, this is a pretty good one. As well as the Tatuaje Tattoo Caballero. This is a 5x50, pretty decent Vitola. I would prefer a 48, but another Pete Johnson cigar, and this is all Nicaraguan except for the Ecuadorian Habano Oscuro wrapper. This is mid-full as well. I think this is more on the mid. This is more like dark wood, earth, and spice. So something you would kind of associate with like Nicaraguan cigars, but with that sweet overtone from the Oscuro wrapper.
By the way, I'm getting some mintiness.
Yeah, are you starting to pick up on there's a little bit of mint in there?
Yeah. That is interesting as shit.
If you pay it, so this is really interesting. If you let your cherry just go out, you have the most delicious smoke ever.
Yeah.
But then you have to relight it. If you get your cherry as cool as possible on this cigar, you will taste dill.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't really been chiefing this one like I normally do.
All right, and then probably the most famous Oscuro wrapper, didn't come up before, but the Drew Estate Liga Privada number 9. That's an Oscuro that everybody knows about. They don't like advertise.
No, they don't.
Like, this is part of Drew Estate's branding. Is like for them, branding it as a Liga Privada number 9 is more important than it's Oscuro. No, it's a whole finished product. So it's kind of like Ferrari isn't advertising. This is a V12. They're like, no, this is a Ferrari F whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Drew Estate has the same branding approach with their products, but part of producing the experience of Liga number 9 is an Oscuro wrapper.
Yeah.
I'm sure most of our listeners have tried that. So those are just some cigars. You mentioned the Tatuaje 15th anniversary Oscuro. I like the Bellicoso. Vitola for that, which is $19, but I like it. Yeah. It is. I think it's fucking strong. It's pepper, it's espresso, it's dark chocolate, and there is a red pepper finish. So I like to take zucchini when it's summer. I'll take zucchini or summer squash and I cut them into spears.
Yeah.
And then I put olive oil in a fry pan.
Okay.
And I put red pepper flakes.
All right.
And then you just drop them in there and sear them. They're nice and brown.
You're making me hungry.
Oh my gosh. But you know how when you eat them, you're like, oh, crisp fried zucchini. And then as soon as you swallow, you get that red pepper finish.
Yeah.
That's what this cigar tastes like. So it's pretty cool, but it's strong and powerful. Did you have any cigars to add?
No, I think you covered most of them.
Yeah, so I think it's worth experimenting with Oscuro wrappers.
Yeah, the legit Oscuros.
Yeah, legit Oscuro. And then, to be honest with you, I can't tell a huge difference between Maduro and Oscuro, partly because nobody makes like the same blend with both wrappers.
Yeah.
We talked about this with, was it with the Cameroons?
Yeah, like the compare and contrasting.
Yeah. To me, Oscuro is a method to get some of the same flavors out of a leaf that can't handle the Maduro process.
Yeah.
So, as like a recap, Oscuro is not a type of tobacco. It is technically a method to ferment the leaves and let them grow darker. And usually it's a slightly hardier leaf. And hats off to Fuente for figuring out how to do an Oscuro on Cameroon, because you usually see like Claro, Colorado type of wrappers. And the same leaves that are used for Maduro are often used for Oscuro, or leaves that are just slightly more delicate. So you can make a Maduro Nicaraguan Habano, but you probably have better yield and less stress with the Oscuro method. You'll see Oscuro or Maduro for broadleaf, Connecticut or Pennsylvania, Mexican San Andres, although the Mexican San Andres Negro holds up to Maduro processing so well, it's like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And then the real, I guess, takeaway is the Oscuro process uses lower temperatures and shorter time. And then you have to put it in bales or barrels and let it sort of finish. But that's kind of normal for Maduro too, although they'll tell you it's ready to go when it's done on Maduros. With Oscuro, it's not. The folks I've talked to in the industry are like, no. That aging process after the fermentation is important because it's continuing the process.
Yeah.
So if you take the lead time on a Maduro and an Oscuro, they could be similar. It's just, like I said, the folks I've talked to, they're like, well, we do it for Maduro too.
Yeah.
Did I mention the La Aroma de Cuba Reserva?
No.
Okay, so that's one that, those are $9 to $11, so very affordable in price.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with La Aroma de Cuba, these are highly rated cigars.
Yeah, man, they're good.
Like, they're affordable, but they're all 92 up to 94 rated.
Yeah, even El Jefe.
Yes, I don't like the El Jefe.
Yeah, that's too big for it.
Mi Amore is good, but the Reserva is an Oscuro wrapper, so you can start out there. To me, it's a lot milder and sweeter than even this.
Yeah.
Hemingway. So it's not one to go, if you're looking for like a strong cigar, go for the Tatuaje.
Yeah.
Even the Partagas, but the La Aroma de Cuba Reserva is very sweet and molassesy and delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, this is one of my daily smoke rotations. I'm spoiled. I know that I am. But this is what has driven my economic advancement in life, is I want to be able to daily smoke whatever the fuck cigar I want to. So, all right. I think it's time for our second and final break. When we come back, we will do our cigar news of the week. Keep your dial locked in to Burnline Podcast. And now your cigar news of the week with Angel Solorio.
And you're listening to Burnline Podcast, Uncommon Cigar Knowledge for the Common Cigar Smoker. We just wrapped up talking about Oscuro wrappers. We are smoking the Arturo Fuente Hemingway Sungrown Oscuro, which features a Cameroon wrapper that is Oscuro processed, and we are sipping the new Riff Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is a 30% rye mash bill, and it's quite good, and it's kind of new, and I think it won an award or something. So $40 for the bottle, very approachable. If you're a bourbon guy, pick that up. I think you'll like it, and it does pair well with this cigar.
Yeah.
And now, your cigar news of the week.
All right, something cool since we're on the liquors conversation. So Sazerac and STG are going to team up for a Buffalo Trace Prohibition Collection Series number 2.
Okay, so Buffalo Trace Prohibition.
Yep.
So Buffalo Trace is coming out with a Prohibition Series 2 bourbon.
Yeah, and then
And
5
STG is making the...
Yeah.
Because they currently make the regular Buffalo Trace cigar.
Yeah, so 5 sticks, 5 bottles, yeah. Which, let's be real, that Buffalo Trace cigar sucks.
Yeah, but it's also cheap.
Yeah, but it still sucks.
Yeah, it's not... I don't even... Other than the branding, like, it's not like they aged it in Buffalo
They didn't do
Trace
anything
barrels or
interesting.
anything. Yeah.
I don't know. We've talked about this. It was somebody who literally does not know anything about cigars okayed this.
Yeah, it's just co-branding. That's it.
Yeah.
And yeah, the cigar is flat, one note, cardboardy. You know, it's not great.
And it doesn't even go with the Buffalo. Like, it does a
it doesn't
disservice
pair.
to the Buffalo Trace.
No, agree, because Buffalo Trace is pretty good bourbon.
Yeah.
But this cigar is
that was
low
a
end.
fail.
Yeah.
Epic fail.
Well, I think STG got the better end of it. Mm-hmm. You know, if they just branded that as their own thing, nobody would buy it.
You're right.
You know?
All right, so old-fashioned mountain corn uses an Ecuadorian Habana wrapper, Honduran binder, and Nicaraguan filler. And then Anderson's Bell features an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper over a Nicaraguan binder and filler. The corresponding spirit is wheaten bourbon whiskey. Silver Wedding is a Honduran puro with Corojo wrapper and undisclosed varietals for the binders. VOP, which stands for Very Old Procurable, it has an Ecuadorian Sungrown wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and fillers from Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic. Mirror Book uses 2 Honduran wrappers, 1 Corojo, and the other a Maduro, to create a barber pole design underneath that is a Honduran binder and filler that has tobacco from Nicaragua and Panama. I haven't smoked any Panama tobacco here lately.
No, but those sound a lot more interesting than the Buffalo Trace cigar.
Yeah, by the way, if you heard me and you're keeping up, you're probably on the floor passed out right now from being drunk.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, from all the Ecuadorian. So that sounds pretty fucking good. And look at that collectible. Like, check that out.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So the cigars come in... Are those coffin boxes?
Yeah.
And then the whiskey comes in matching rectangular cube boxes.
And then there's the bottles themselves.
So you can make like a bookshelf out of them.
Dude, that'd be so cool.
You know, I might just collect those. That looks like something that would be my collection.
Sounds expensive as shit.
It does. Fuck.
Yeah. And then, stand by. Whoop. Viaje announces Vampire Dust. So that's a new stick.
And just a reminder for folks out there, I don't think Viaje has any fucking core lines. Like, everything Viaje has come out with, it's like they just come out with something else later.
Yeah, but I think this is going to be in core line because the way this is worded, we'll be shipping a brand new line.
Yeah, but I'm just saying with Viaje, it's like they'll produce something and then until they don't.
Yeah.
That's just how they are. Like, so if you go look for stuff that came out 10 years ago or whatever, you might find the rare thing online, but once they're out of stock, they're out of stock.
Yeah.
So I was talking to my guy up at Cigars International. He was like, no. He's like, we'll never get that again. Like, they ship you what they got, and then they move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So, if you like VI, I like VIs. A lot of their stuff is good. I think it's kind of collectible because a lot of it, like, it just goes away. Like, they sell what they have and they move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So, Vampire Dust?
Yeah, Vampire
What do they
Dust.
mix their fucking metaphors or something?
Something.
Vampire
By the way,
Dust?
undisclosed everything.
Undisclosed everything.
Yep.
Okay.
Besides $12 per stick.
Is it a Cuban sandwich?
Undisclosed everything.
I'm just saying that would explain the dust.
I guess.
How is dust associated with vampires?
I don't know, man.
Gold dust, vampire blood, not vampire dust.
I don't know. Call them.
It's not a thing. Look, I'm not like a Twilight person, but I know my vampire lore enough to know there's no such thing as vampire dust. What the hell?
Dude, I don't know.
No, but really,
I
like,
agree.
Who's coming up with the
Vampire
branding on
dust?
this?
I don't know what that means. Unless,
what's
are they talking
next?
about a vampire that was out in the sun and turned into dust, and then they just sprinkled that on the...
Indiana Jones and the Holy Grail dust? I mean, come on, man. Like,
I don't know.
they need to hire a fucking MBA to do their vampire dust.
By the way, Johnny Midas is for hire.
Yes, I'm a consultant on the side. Don't Google Johnny Midas because you won't find my consulting side. Just look up johnthacklerjr.com and I'll be happy to make you rich. Anyway, keep going.
La Galera al Majales goes on sale in the Middle East.
Okay,
Here, you're a
time out.
You're a
Time
Middle
out.
Eastern guy.
How can you not pronounce fucking Spanish?
That's not Spanish. It's Middle East, sir.
Al Majlis.
That's more your forte.
Al Malis.
No, it should be like Mach.
It's Majlis.
Majles. Almost a little Hebrewish / Arabic.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Why do you have this phone, dude?
Because it's advanced.
You couldn't afford an iPhone?
It's advanced.
Ecuadorian Habano wrapper over Dominican binder and Dominican fillers. $20 a stick, sold in 20 cigars, and only in the Middle East.
Yeah.
That's
You
pretty
do realize 50% of your phone is my phone.
Majlis. So it's spelled Majles, like ES. It's referencing malis, which are sitting rooms that serve multifunctional roles in Arab cultures. So basically, like when I was in Dubai with the Minister of Culture, they have this room, and it actually has a dish in the middle of it. So like the outer 12 feet is floor level, and then there's like a 8-inch sunken area in the middle, and they'll spread a blanket out and serve food there. That's the traditional way to eat. You know, they don't do it normally, but when they're celebrating their culture, you know, back when they were nomadic, they would spread a blanket out. You lay on your side and you eat from multiple dishes and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what that's referencing.
Yeah.
So think of it like, I guess the American equivalent would be like the family room.
Yeah.
You know, something
Living
like
room,
that.
something like that.
Yeah.
And then, isn't that where they serve you like meat and shit like that? Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they can.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
Right.
It's like it's just what it said. It's a like a multifunctional, multi-purpose area.
Yeah. All right, Phillips and King. So here's some TPE news that's trickled out. Phillips and King showing off the Rocky Patel Decade at TPE.
Who's Phillips and King?
They're a tobacco company.
So why are they showing off the Rocky Patel Decade?
I'm not sure.
Do they have like some kind of distribution rights?
Yeah. I believe so.
Well, you gotta fucking know you're the news guy.
That's what it's saying.
This guy. I'll tell you, you are definitely not earning your $0 salary on this podcast.
Correct. You're getting $0 quality news.
If you don't like what Angel is doing, we will give you your money back.
Yeah.
We'll cut the price in half.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, and here's some interesting news. So, Half Wheel is running a promo / kind of like giveaway. So, it's a contest. Win their top 25 cigars of 2024. It's a sampler. So, if you go to Half Wheel, their top 25, they didn't really say which ones exactly.
Well, we haven't done this on the show yet. We need to, but, you know, if you're a cigar nerd like we are, where do you go for info? Half Wheel's a pretty good one. Mm-hmm. They were a little wordy, you know, like, you probably want to save it for taking a shit, a really good one. A lot of their articles are like old school journalism, you know, like paragraph after paragraph.
Not fake news.
But no, not fake news, and also not clickbait. You know, like it's real solid meat, but it takes a while.
Yeah.
To chew on it. So Half Wheel is doing a giveaway. Mm-hmm. Is it all of their top cigars?
Top 25 cigars.
It's all of them?
Yeah, but it's their pick, so they're not going to say which ones.
No, but I mean, how many cigars do you win is what I'm asking.
Yeah, 25.
You win all 25?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
One sampler.
Yeah, but a sampler of 25 cigars.
25. Fuck yeah. So.
Fucking do it.
Yeah, do it.
What do you go to halfwheel.com and sign up? Yeah.
Comment. Yep. All right, and then San Luis Rey Belicoso Edición Regional Alemania goes on sale in Germany, so another non-American exclusive.
All right, so you have to clarify, though. San Luis Rey is a Cuban brand and an American brand.
Yeah.
Is this the Cuban San Luis Rey, which is why it's going to Germany?
Correct, sir.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's the Vitola called Campanas in the Cuban cigar portfolio.
Interesting.
So, okay. I'm just interested
San
in
Luis Rey has good cigars.
Yes.
So
and affordable.
Here's my thing. Okay. Like, we're going to keep talking about this. I know it's never going to go away until it goes away. But I don't want to affect anybody's business. But there is only one company in America that has the right to use the Cuban cigar name, and that is Monte Cristo. So the guy that started non-Cuban Monte Cristo actually bought the rights to that from the Monte Cristo family in Cuba. And I'm okay with that because you have a business arrangement. But for the rest of them, and even for Monte Cristo, I'm not against the idea of can we just end the fucking confusion?
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that, I don't know what's going to happen in the current political climate, but I mean, come on, dude. How long is it going to be before we take our head out of our ass and allow Cuban imports of cigars? How dead does Fidel have to be before we're like, okay, guys? You know what I mean?
Well, I wasn't going to mention this, but I'm going to mention this now. It might get harder because the guy in charge of this, I'm so against this one. The guy in charge said Cuba's now back on the terrorist list. I'm like, dude, why? Why are you punishing people?
But being on the terrorist list doesn't mean you can't import. That's an embargo, and it's different.
Yeah, I know, but...
So, I mean, fucking, we can import shit from Iran. We can import shit from Afghanistan. Pakistan. We're flying drones over Pakistan's airspace without fucking permission to murder American citizens. You know what I mean?
No,
and we can import whatever we want. Well, look, I mean, we try not to keep this a political show, but politics affects our hobby.
Yep.
Yeah, China. I mean, fuck. We want to talk about human rights abuses, terrorism, whatever.
And now we're canceling China.
Whatever, but at the end of the day, I think it's a matter of time before the embargo is lifted, and
this administration.
It was under Obama for a brief period.
Why are we still punishing people?
I don't know. I don't.
So here's the fucked up part. Oh, it's
they're like, we can't fund their government, dude. It's a fucking island.
Yeah.
What are you funding?
You're funding China, a country that literally low-key wants to kill, not even low-key, blatantly says wants to destroy us.
I'm flying a balloon over your fucking airspace to collect...
We buy oil and gas, or natural gas from Russia that literally says it will blow us up with nukes.
And Saudi Arabia.
But Cuba, an island that literally just wants to be fucking friendly.
Oh, yeah.
People that are not being... Okay, they're being oppressed by their island, but we're helping them be oppressed.
Yeah.
We're just contributing
to it.
Yeah, the oppression.
It's like, you made the wrong mistake.
They didn't do anything.
Yeah, how dare you be communist? We're going to punish you. Yeah,
they didn't put nukes on their island.
No, it's fucking bullshit. And like I said, I think the brother's still alive. Isn't Fidel's brother still alive? Maybe when he dies.
Raul, yeah. I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know.
Where I'm going with that is I generally support not naming a second company the same fucking thing because it's too confusing. Right? So I like San Luis Rey cigars, the Cuban ones.
Right.
The ones that are available in America, I could give or take. Some of them are okay.
Oh. And then we buy tobacco from Nicaragua.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come on. Literally the business we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, and oil from Venezuela. I'll stop there. But.
Yeah, it's a double, triple standard. I agree. But, and as somebody who enjoys cigars, I will tell you, everybody that I know that's a nerd about this, we fucking hate communism. It destroyed something that we love. But, come on, dude. What do you think your money's going to? It's like, well, we can't fund their government. Dude, their government is smaller than this county. If you go in terms of dollars, it's like we have counties in Texas that are bigger and more expensive than this fucking island. So lay off.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay.
That's
so
right.
you did it again. Thanks for the fucking rant.
I can keep going deeper. I can keep going deeper
on purpose.
I can go deeper. I can go deeper. There's a couple more yet.
Oh, Johnny Midas is having a good night. Let's harsh his vibe. Yeah. I know how this works. El Fumo.
Yeah, so there's more if you want.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Hawaii wants to limit nicotine purchases.
Hawaii wants to limit nicotine purchases. I mean, here's the problem. I don't actually have a problem with that. It's an addictive chemical. I understand. I have two problems. Number one, we have a double standard with cannabis. And number two, we cannot keep lumping cigars in with other products. You know, here's an example. If you want to talk about nicotine, I saw this online and I just about flipped my shit. And I was going to comment on it, and then I was like, no, nothing good ever came from that. But somebody in the Middle East, that's a cigar page, had a post. The average cigar has 20 times the nicotine of cigarettes or whatever. It has as much nicotine in one cigar as a whole pack of cigarettes. And I'm like, yes, but that doesn't mean anything for two reasons. The first is, if you inhale a cigar, you will fucking vomit. Mm-hmm. That's where the nicotine transfer happens. In your saliva in your mouth, your saliva actually neutralizes the nicotine. This is why, like, you can stick a wad of tobacco in your cheek to get a nicotine buzz and you don't kill yourself. Right? You would literally die of nicotine poisoning if all that nicotine could get into your bloodstream. So the actual nicotine transfer from a cigar is typically in one cigar, when you smoke one cigar, you're getting less nicotine in your bloodstream than one cigarette.
Yeah.
Right? So lumping cigars, and same thing with the secondhand smoke thing, like, I hate to tell you, it's called science. Look up, what is it, Monograph 47 or whatever?
Something like that.
Like, it is the study, the Surgeon General, the only longitudinal study they ever did that established a scientific link between health outcomes and smoking. And at the end of that study, cigar smokers had better health outcomes than people that didn't smoke at all. So, I mean, what do you call that?
Yeah.
You know? So, that's just... Sorry, guys, you know, trust the science, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's how it came out. So just lumping this hobby in with other tobacco-based or nicotine products is stupid. Having a limit on nicotine, I don't like government overreach. I'm the guy that would be like, I don't care if you legalize cocaine.
Yeah.
You know, just have safe places to do it or whatever. Because I'm a libertarian, sort of naturally. But I understand that. I think the real problem is... fucking know your shit.
Yeah.
Like, a premium cigar is not the same thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Hawaii also wants to do a generational tobacco ban.
Fuck you, Hawaii. I hope you die and go to hell. All right, so...
There's more, but yeah, I'm done with that.
All right, so El Fumo is done basically ruining our life.
Not me, Hawaii, man. They got literally bigger things to worry about. Like, literally a disaster just happened, and they're worried about fucking tobacco. Like, shut the fuck up.
So, you know, like, here's an example, right? And this is kind of shitty, and I don't mean it in a shitty way, but I saw this meme online, and it had a picture of L.A. burning. Mm-hmm. And in the foreground is this fire hydrant not being used, and it's painted like rainbow colors.
Yep.
And they're like, Newsom is so busy painting his fire hydrants LGBTQ friendly that he can't, but they don't work.
Yeah.
And it's like, Hawaii's in the same boat where it's like, my friends over there, you have to care about the stuff that matters to people. If you don't, you don't love people, you're too busy spending your time and effort on things like generational tobacco bans to worry about the fact the island just burned to the fucking ground a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Look, Hawaii had their chance to vote for a native to be governor, but they fucked up.
Yeah, they did.
They did. They could have had a badass, literally fucking killer governor, and they decided to...
Well, she's moved on to bigger things than what I've heard.
No, I was talking about the other guy.
Oh.
BJ Penn.
Yeah, BJ Penn. I forgot.
That motherfucker, like... Dude, he's Hawaiian native and cares about Hawaii.
The thing about Penn is, like, he's such a... he is a man of the people. When he was a fighter, it was the same thing. He's a killer.
Yeah.
But he is a man of the people.
Yeah.
I'm
not pushing a political party, but, like, you guys are putting yourself in the hole by continuously voting Democrat. It's like literally shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, it's like I just pulled the lever for the party instead of using my brain.
Yeah.
And the pendulum always swings.
It does.
It's like in 20 years, people will be like, you better fucking vote Democrat because the Republicans, blah, blah, But where the pendulum is right now, it's like, you voted for a party that doesn't give a fuck and didn't do anything for you.
Right.
You literally have a president that's giving hundreds of millions of dollars to fight wars overseas.
Yeah.
And here's your $200 because your shit burned down in Hawaii.
Yeah. Oh, and we took your land because we can.
Yeah, and it's like...
Literally.
Do you not actually care for American citizens? Because it doesn't feel like you do.
Mm-mm. Anyways, we just lost a certain political group of listeners.
Not necessarily, because we're for people, and we're for our hobby.
Yeah.
which is smoking cigars. So back on that note, we are smoking the Arturo Fuente Hemingway. This is the Sungrown Oscuro. So let's do some final tasting notes, and then we got to wrap this up and rank this cigar. Tasting notes, what you got?
Very enjoyable as shit. Like, still getting some mint, some like anise or licorice still. Another sweet component. I can't really peg it. This is really fucking good though. We didn't talk about strength. I've been sitting at a 5 the whole time.
I would say 5 for strength. And then for complexity, I would say it's mid to mid complex.
Mid to mid complex, agreed. Because it changes.
It didn't change, but it added some flavors. One of the things that I like about Fuentes is that they are mid, typically, in strength. Mm-hmm. And I can just enjoy them, and I can enjoy cigar after cigar. I can't remember ever smoking a Fuente where I'm like, ooh, I better put this down because I'm getting lightheaded or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree with both of those. And we said on this show we're going to stop using body because it's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
about strength and flavor.
Yeah, strength and flavor.
Right, so this is bursting with flavor.
Yeah.
And some of the some flavors add in, a couple kind of go away. It's not a flavor changer.
Right.
So I'm not sure I would go full complex flavor on it, but very flavorful.
It's very enjoyable. It's not a.
And one of the things that makes Fuente famous is they went to the Dominican Republic and they replicated the Cuban experience. Mm-hmm. Cubans are known for being medium strength, floral, aromatic, bursting with flavor, but not fucking super strong.
They got that island flavor down.
Yeah. All right, so notes for me. I'm not sure how much of this comes from the bourbon, so I want to put that out there for folks that are listening. Yeah. There is a little meaty component in there. Mm-hmm. You had said braised pork. I think you kind of nailed it earlier. There is a smoked wood component, which I think the bourbon added in because I didn't taste it before I kind of mixed them.
Cloves.
There's cloves, there's nutmeg, there's honey, there's
licorice,
there's a little bit of anise, and there's some coriander. Mm-hmm. So very, very rich, deep, complex flavor. Like I said, there's a reason this is in my rotation for daily smokes. Mm-hmm. And you can smoke it any time of day. Mm-hmm. This could be a breakfast cigar. It's not too strong for that. It's I think one of my favorite use cases for this cigar is after a steak dinner.
Yeah.
It's
not heavy, not too light.
Yeah, it's not as full as some smoke this after.
It'll definitely complement it.
It complements it.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. So, all right, let's rank this, and we're going to start with presentation. As usual, Fuente has got, just a gorgeous box. One thing that is different, you'll notice the little blue water droplet with the C in it is not present. This box does not come with a Boveda pack. Mm-hmm. I'm not a huge fan of that because one of the things about many Fuentes is it has a Boveda pack, and you can use it as a humidor.
Yeah.
If you're daily smoking, by the time you get to that last cigar, 20 days later or whatever, the Boveda pack is not crunchy yet.
Yeah.
Right? This doesn't have that, so you'll want to take these out and put them in your humidor. It has the red ribbon across the face of the cigars, and of course we saw how, kind of juicy this toothy Cameroon wrapper is. I kind of have an 8 for presentation.
Agreed. It's just that classic Fuente.
It's very classy. It's not like the Ometepe, blowing our doors off, but it's beating 80% of everything in the humidor.
Yeah.
All right, so construction, I didn't have any issues with draw.
Me neither.
Didn't have any.
It was a little tight at the beginning.
Yeah, it always is because of the nipple. The wrappers came off without taking any, which, I
almost had that issue.
Fuente doesn't always do that right.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anything to take points off of for construction.
Not really. 10?
10?
10.
Okay. That's only fair. All right, so price. Now, on these, the individual stick price is $15, we'll call it. 14 and change. For Arturo nowadays, that's average. I I think you're getting a lot for your money. This isn't quite a Toro either. It's a little less tobacco. Although, it's taking us about an hour to smoke it. So it's about an hour's worth of smoke. I'm kind of at a 6 for price. I could go higher than that.
6, yeah, I agree.
Because you're getting value for your money, but I think 6, 5 is average.
6 is fine.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so flavor. Again, subjective. What do you got for flavor?
9. I really enjoyed it. It's pretty good. Different flavors I've gotten.
I think 9, and one of the things that I like about this stick, like I said, I buy it by the box, is the flavor is so complex. And if you add even anything, a little coffee, a little whiskey, a little fucking corned beef on rye, bagel and schmear, it changes what you're tasting out of it.
Yeah.
I think anybody that is if you're a cigar nerd or nut, you got to smoke this cigar. If you haven't smoked it yet, you got to smoke it. And I have said in the past that the regular Hemingway, not necessarily the oscuro, to me that's the yardstick.
Yeah.
If you talk average, I don't mean that in a bad way, but average cigar, this is what a cigar should be.
Yeah.
The construction is great, the burn is great, the draw is great, slightly tight because that's how I like it.
Yeah.
Good flavor, not too strong. It's like the average cigar.
Yeah.
So if you haven't tried a Hemingway, fucking try it. But the oscuro, it adds a little extra layer of this
Yeah, it does, man. It's really good. I dig it.
All right, so that brings us to experience. So this one's kind of interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because we talk about use case a lot. So first of all, if you give someone this box as a gift, it's already gift wrapped.
Yeah.
This looks like a fucking high-end cigar. It looks, and it is. I mean, $350 for a box. It's not cheap. It's a princely gift, but it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
You could literally give someone this for their wedding.
Yeah.
And it's it's
a celebration
Hemingway,
stick.
dude.
It's a celebration stick. Yeah. I just got that promotion that Thacker's been
you
telling
could-
me about for a while now.
Yeah. No.
Damn it.
But yeah, you can totally do, but at the same time with the price point, you can just smoke it. You can smoke it in the lounge with your friends. I think that for me, I have the budget where I can just enjoy these. That's not true for everybody. 14 something a stick is not super cheap. But you can do stuff because it's not too heavy.
Right.
So I don't think it's a dog walker or a fishing cigar because, it's expensive enough. It's I kind of want to enjoy it, not drop it in the water or something. But you can do stuff with it.
You really
It's
can.
not going to knock you on
After
your ass.
dinner smoke, before dinner smoke, grilling
Breakfast
smoke.
grilling smoke, yard
I wouldn't.
work smoke.
Maybe.
I don't want to ruin the cigar.
Right.
But it's not too heavy.
Yeah.
And it's super delicious. I think the default use case for this is just it's time to smoke a cigar.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
Any time of day, enjoy it. And then, of course, it's not fair being in this environment with another cigar dude.
Yeah.
It's not fair. We have a better experience. I know that. But I've got a 9 for experience.
Yeah, I agree. 9.
Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know I'm biased or whatever by my
An Arturo
palate.
Fuente snob.
I'm not. It's
Hashtag
just,
not sponsored.
It's just
Yeah.
there's two guys where I enjoy, my palate is so aligned, and that's Fuente and Fernandez.
Yeah.
Although Fernandez has some low end sticks that are just low end, Fuente kind of doesn't. But so I'm happy that you also had a 9 because it tells me I'm able to kind of judge the stick objectively a little bit. And personally, like I said, it's in my rotation of daily smokes. So maybe it's a higher than a 9 for me, but I think 9 is fair.
Yeah.
So that brings the final score for the Arturo Fuente Signature Cameroon Oscuro Hemingway to 42.
Nice.
So pretty good score, low 40s.
Yeah.
That puts it in the top 10, I think, cigars. And I think my takeaway for folks would be just smoke one. If you're into cigars, just smoke it. And then if you're I want something heavier, great. Go back to your Padrones.
Yeah.
But you're not going to not enjoy it.
Yeah, that's right. I agree.
All right. Are we missing something?
No, I think
Is
so.
that it?
Yeah, that's it.
We didn't go live on Insta.
No,
Kinda
that's
missed
okay.
that.
It's okay.
But, all right. Well, that is all we have for you this week on Burnline Podcast. Thanks so much for joining us. Hopefully you learned a little something about Oscuro
Versus
and
Maduro.
We will see you again next week.